In a dark and decaying world where magic and chaos reigned, a war between good and evil intensified. The fate of entire kingdoms rested in the hands of powerful and tormented beings, each carrying their own burden. Space Ghost, the enigmatic warrior, watched the blood-red sky from a lonely tower. His black cape billowed in the wind as he prepared for battle. The ancient cosmic powers he wielded were both a blessing and a curse. He knew that the balance of the world depended on him, but the sacrifices he would have to make haunted him. His enemies were numerous, but none as dangerous as Zorak, the sorcerer who sought to subjugate the world with dark magic. Space Ghost was the last line of defense, a dark guardian who could not fail, not while there was still light in the stars. Zorak, the insectoid sorcerer, walked through his ruined castle, surrounded by an army of shadowy creatures. He viewed the world as a chessboard, and every soul was a piece to be manipulated. His necromancy gave him control over death, and he longed for the day when Space Ghost would fall at his feet. But no matter how much power Zorak accumulated, there was something he feared, the strength that resided in the hearts of those who resisted. His ambition, however, knew no bounds. He would destroy everything in his path, bringing darkness to every corner of the realm. Brack, the brutal hunter, was torn. His loyalty to Zorak was driven by fear, but something unstable and chaotic brewed within him. His superhuman strength made him a dangerous weapon, but he was not entirely a villain. Brack wandered between violence and a desire for something more. In his lonely nights, he wondered if there was redemption for him. Zorak treated him like a pawn, but Brack felt that his fate was far from written. Perhaps he would find his own path, or perhaps he would be lost forever in the darkness. Jan, the young warrior, felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. Her mystical armor glowed with the light of ancient magic, and she fought bravely to save the kingdom from a curse that consumed everything around her. Alongside Space Ghost, she faced monsters and sorcerers, but her greatest battle was within, finding the strength to continue, even when hope seemed distant. She knew that Zorak was the key to everything and would not rest until he was defeated. Her brother, Jace, was her only comfort amid the chaos, and together they formed an unbreakable bond. Jace, Jan's brother, lived with the pain of loss. His family had been destroyed by Zorak, and every strike of his enchanted sword was fueled by an unrelenting fury. He was agile and stealthy, moving like a shadow through the battlefield. But behind his vengeance was a deep desire for justice, to restore the balance that Zorak had stolen. Alongside his sister, he would face any challenge, but his soul yearned for peace, something he feared he might never find. Metalis, the fallen monarch, lived in agony, trapped in a body half metal, half decaying flesh. His empire was devastated, and he had made a pact with dark forces in search of immortality. But the price was steep. Metalis was no longer human. His soul was corrupted, and he had become a puppet of the shadows. Yet, there was a part of Metalis that still longed for redemption, though it was buried under layers of hate and despair. He knew the end was near, but didn't know whether he would fight for himself or against the void consuming him.